My name is Hannah Miller, and I'm 30 years old. 4 years ago, my older brother sent me a voice message 2 days before Thanksgiving. It was only 8 seconds long. Those 8 seconds erased my place in my own family. Don't come this year. Mum doesn't want any tension. No explanation. No explanation. No, we'll talk about it later. Just a calm, final statement that made one thing painfully clear. I was no longer welcome in the only place I had ever called home. That Thanksgiving, I ate cold takeout alone in my small apartment in Chicago, watching families in my building knock on each other's doors with plates of pie and laughter like happiness was something you could share if you belonged. I told myself I didn't care. I told myself I was grown. I told myself I was fine. I wasn't fine. And I had no idea that a wrong delivery at my door would lead me to the family I'd been missing my whole life. I had no idea that years later, the people who pushed me out would show up uninvited only to realize I had already built a life where I wasn't begging for a seat anymore. Let me take you back to the moment everything changed. I was standing in my kitchen when my phone buzzed. Pasta water was boiling over on the stove. Steam filled the room, setting off the smoke detector for the second time that week. I wiped my hands on a towel and glanced at my phone. Ethan, my older brother. I smiled without thinking and pressed play. Don't come this year. Mum doesn't want any tension. That was it. I stared at the screen, waiting for more. Something like, call me, or we need to talk. Nothing came. I called him. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Finally, he picked up with a tired sigh, like I was already exhausting him. Hannah, what do you mean don't come? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. You heard me. Why? I said. What tension? I haven't even talked to Mum in weeks. That's exactly it, he replied. Thanksgiving isn't the time for questions. Questions? I let out a short laugh. I'm her daughter. I'm not a guest. There was a pause. In the background, I could hear a football game. Someone laughing. The sound of life continuing normally on his end. Hannah, please, he said finally. Just do what I'm saying. Mom wants peace. Peace for who? He didn't answer. Instead, he used the sentence that had ended every argument in our family for as long as I could remember. You know how you are. Something tight formed in my chest. How I am, I said quietly. You mean the way I ask why I'm always treated like I'm extra. Don't start, he warned. I'm not starting anything. I'm asking you what happened. He exhaled hard. Mom's already stressed. Jake's engagement party is coming up. People will be there. She doesn't want drama. Jake's engaged, I repeated slowly. So you're all together, planning events, and nobody told me. Silence. That silence said everything. Hannah, he said at last, softer now, like he was offering me a deal. Just skip this year. We'll talk later, please. Later. That word had stolen years from me. Okay, I whispered, if that's what you want. It's not what I want, he said quickly. Then, without meaning to, he told the truth. It's just easier. The line went dead. If you've never been the difficult one in your family, let me explain what it feels like. It feels like you're always one sentence away from being told you're too much. It feels like your emotions are treated like a mess you should clean up quietly. It feels like love is something you receive only when you're convenient. Ethan was the responsible one, the golden child. Jake was the baby, the one everyone protected. And me, I was the one who said things out loud. When my dad passed away, I was 19. I cried openly at the funeral, and my aunt pulled me aside and whispered, "Pull yourself together. People are watching." When my mum gave my dad's watch to Ethan and said, "He's the man of the family now," I asked, "What does that make me?" Ethan looked embarrassed. My mum looked offended. and my aunt said what felt like a law of nature: Hannah, don't make a scene. I didn't know I was making scenes. I thought I was just existing. Over time, my role became clear: stay quiet, smile, and make life easier for everyone else. Whenever I didn't, I became the reason the house felt heavy. When I got my first real job as a junior graphic designer, I was proud. I wanted celebration. My mum said, "That's nice. Just don't forget your responsibilities. You won't get too independent, right?" When I moved to Chicago for better work, she said, "Fine, but don't come crying later. Big cities change people." When I turned down a proposal from a man who told me I'd need to quit working after marriage, my mum didn't ask why. She just said, "You always make things harder than they need to be." And I believed her. For years, I believed I was the problem, until that Thanksgiving message proved what I'd been avoiding my entire life. Thanksgiving morning arrived cold and grey. I cleaned my apartment anyway. I dressed nicely anyway. My body followed the routine even though my heart had been kicked out of it. I ordered takeout from a restaurant I couldn't really afford and sat at my small table with one plate, one chair, one glass. Around noon, I made the mistake of opening Instagram. My mum had posted a photo. The whole family sat around the table smiling, dressed nicely, plates full. The caption read, "So grateful for family." I zoomed in and counted the seats. There was no empty chair. They hadn't just excluded me. They'd arranged the picture to look complete without me. I put my phone face down and pressed my hand to my chest, like I could physically hold myself together. That night, I went to bed with a quiet heaviness inside me, the kind that feels like sinking. The next afternoon, around 3 p.m, my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door to find a delivery driver holding a large box. "Package for Laura Bennett," he read. "That's not me," I said. He shrugged. "Apartment 3B? That's me, but I'm Hannah." He sighed. "Just take it, I'm behind schedule." Before I could stop him, he walked away. I stared at the box sitting in my living room. The label had a phone number on it. I called. "Hello," a woman answered. "Hi," I said carefully. "This is Hannah. A package addressed to Laura Bennett was delivered to my apartment. I think it's yours." There was a pause, then a laugh. "Oh my God," she said. "I just moved into 3A yesterday. Of course they messed it up. Do you want to come get it?" I asked. "Yes, thank you so much." 10 minutes later, she knocked. Laura was around my age, wearing jeans and a hoodie, her expression open and warm. Behind her stood an older woman with silver hair and kind eyes, and a man with a calm smile. "This is my mum, Margaret, and my dad, Tom," Laura said. "Sorry about the mess, we're still unpacking." Margaret looked at me like she was really seeing me. "Thank you for calling," she said. "A lot of people wouldn't have." "I couldn't keep it," I said. "It's not mine." Laura picked up the box, then looked at my face again. "Are you okay?" The question was simple, normal, unexpected. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to smile and be polite. Instead, the truth slipped out. "It's Thanksgiving," I said quietly. "I'm just alone." Laura's face softened. Margaret didn't look surprised. She looked understanding. Margaret glanced at her husband, then said like it was the most natural thing in the world, "Come have tea with us." "Oh, I don't want to intrude." "You're not intruding," Laura said immediately. "We're just unpacking boxes." "No one should be alone on a holiday," Margaret added. Those words landed somewhere deep in my chest, not because they were dramatic, because they were true. I surprised myself by saying yes. Their apartment smelled like fresh paint and tea. Boxes were stacked everywhere, but they sat me down like I mattered. Tom poured tea. Laura brought cookies. Margaret asked about my job, my hobbies, my life. No one asked why I wasn't with my family like it was a crime. No one told me to calm down or be grateful. At one point, Margaret said, "Holidays are loud for some people and painfully quiet for others. You're not alone in that." I nodded, unable to speak. When I stood to leave, Margaret touched my arm gently. "We do dinner on Sundays," she said. "Nothing fancy, just food. You're welcome anytime." She didn't say it like a polite lie. She said it like a fact. I didn't go the first Sunday or the second. It felt too personal. Then, on the third Sunday, Laura texted, "We made chicken pot pie. Come if you want." No pressure, no pressure. That phrase felt like freedom. I went. And slowly, without any announcement, the Bennett family became part of my life. Laura became my friend, the kind who sends memes at midnight and doesn't get offended when you need space. Tom became a steady presence, the kind of man who fixes things quietly and listens more than he talks. And Margaret became something I didn't know I was missing. She didn't punish me for being honest. She didn't call my emotions drama. She didn't treat my questions like disrespect. One night, while we were doing dishes together, she said softly, "You don't have to perform here, Hannah." My hands froze. "What do you mean?" "You're always checking yourself," she said gently. "Like you're afraid being real will make you unwanted." I swallowed. "That's normal," she shook her head. "It's common, not normal." Something inside me loosened. 2 years passed. I got promoted. I moved to a better place. I stopped apologizing for taking up space. My biological family stayed silent until one evening Ethan called. "Hannah," he said like nothing had happened. "Where have you been?" I laughed softly. "I've been where you left me." There was a pause. "Mom wants to talk to you." "What does she want?" I asked. Another pause. "Jake's wedding is next month." There it was. Not love. Not regret. A function. "I'm not coming," I said. 2 weeks later, they showed up anyway, standing in my building lobby, like they still had access to my life. My mom looked at me like I was 19 again. "We need to talk," she said. I didn't shrink. "About what?" I asked. She accused me of ignoring them, of embarrassing the family, of being selfish. I asked one calm question. What kind of mother tells her daughter not to come home? Before she could answer, the elevator opened. Laura stepped out with Margaret and Tom laughing. "Hannah," Margaret said warmly, "we're waiting for you. Dinner's ready." My mum stared. "Who are these people?" I answered without hesitation. "My family." "I didn't replace you," I told my mother calmly. "You left a space in my life. They offered what you refused." Then I walked away. No shaking, no apologies, just peace. Some people spend their whole lives begging for love from people who only give it when it's easy. I did that for years. I don't anymore. If you've ever been told you're too much for asking to be treated fairly, please hear this. You are not too much. You were just in the wrong place. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't proving your worth. It's building a new table and stopping the begging at the old one, because you deserve to be chosen, not as an afterthought. Chosen first, chosen fully. I found my people, and for the first time in my life, I finally felt at home